Well, we sure haven't done one of these in a hot second. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nicole if you are new. Thanks so much for clicking on today's video. We have a reaction video for y'all. I haven't done a reaction video and I cannot tell y'all. However, I was on my computer yesterday checking some emails, opened up my Yahoo email homepage, and what was one of the top headlines besides craziness was this article from NBC News on here's how much protein you need in a day despite what TikTok may say. Of course, that caught my attention because it's talking about protein, and you know I'm all about that protein game here. So I clicked on this article, I rolled most of the way through. I just skimmed through it the first time, go back, read some of it, share you my thoughts, my reaction to this, and how this is being portrayed for so many people to see, right? Especially if they are oblivious to a healthy lifestyle, to protein. They read this, they take it all to heart, and they go down this route. I'm also gonna share some personal experiences I've had with others when it comes to calorie intake with nutritionists and protein intake, a little insight on that, and just have a little discussion. Again, with these reaction videos, guys, this is my personal reaction, my opinions, my thoughts to this. Let's converse down below, but remember, we can agree to disagree on topics as well. It doesn't have to be just a one-sided thing. I want to hear everybody's thoughts on the subject matter. So let's get right into it. I will have this article linked down below, but I'm also gonna pop up little snippets of what I am talking about and referring to. How much protein should you eat in a day? The article starts off with, if you take the question from TikTok, the answer might be overwhelming as influencers tout the benefits of high protein diets to build muscle and lose weight, often recommending well over 100 grams of the macronutrient a day. Wahahaha. Experts say it's important to get the recommended minimum of 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight a day. Not per body weight, per kilogram of body weight a day, which is equal to 2.2 pounds. So for the average person who weighs 150 pounds, that's the number we're gonna use throughout the video, that would be at least 54 grams of protein for their goal per day. I didn't say 154, I said 54 grams of protein per day. Aiming for closer to 150 grams of protein, which is more like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, if you weigh 150 pounds, is beyond the recommended amount for even a 150-pound Olympic athlete. So let's just talk about this for a second, because the article goes on with, we have doctors, we have nutritionists, all kinds of different names that are blasted in this article. Do we know who these people are? Do we know their accreditations? Not really. We could go and look and figure it out, and I'm sure they're all credible people, right? However, let's just take a little break for a second. Just because you are a doctor and a nutritionist doesn't mean you are God and you know everything. I will be the first one to tell you that I do not know everything. I never say that I know it all. I'm an open book. I'm constantly learning, researching, getting information, and using things that I've done in my own life and applying it and helping people going forward. But I never say that I know it all. It goes on to say, most of us are not competing for an Olympic medal, said Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford, an obesity medicine physician at Massachusetts General Hospital and an associate professor at Harvard Medical School. Wow, those are some credentials. Just the way we normally eat in this country, we are already eating more protein than we need. Are we really, Dr. Stanford? Are we really? Actually, that's another doctor. See, they flip-flop doctors left and right in this article, said Teresa Fung, a dietitian and professor of nutrition at Simmons University. First off, let's just take a little side break. Just the way we are normally eating this country. Y'all know most people don't really understand, I guess, how Americans in this country normally eat. A normal day-to-day for most Americans, let's be honest, is a drive-through or the cheapest, not the most nutritious thing we can get in the grocery store, because shit is freaking pricey right now and a lot of families are struggling, okay? No shade to any of those people as far as making those choices at the grocery store because of prices, and that's what you're eating and consuming or feeding your family. I totally understand. We shouldn't be hating on that individual. We should be hating on somebody else with all these prices that's going on in the grocery store right now, which is making it very hard for people to eat, period, much less try to make the best decisions. And as far as a drive-through, we're in 2024. We have come to the times where it is just really easy. People take the easy road out with most things in life nowadays, and going through a drive-through and not having to cook or just the convenience of it is very appealing. That's what a lot of people do, eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks through a drive-through. And we all know that is not the most nutritious. So when this article says just the way we normally eat in this country, I don't really understand that quote at all. We're already eating more protein than we need. How do you know that? I don't see that from people that I work with that come to me. Most of them are eating zero protein, not prioritizing it at all. Not prioritizing, let's just be honest, food at all. Not prioritizing calories, eating nothing, starving themselves because that's what nutritionist society tells us to do. And when I say nutritionist, guys, there's amazing nutritionists out there, but I've just had a bad taste in my mouth with people that have come to me that have hired nutritionists, that have paid nutritionists, and then they come to me asking for help after a year of what this nutritionist has recommended them to do, and then I have to kind of fix what has been done for a year. I've had that happen on numerous accounts. So again, I know a lot of great nutritionists. I know there's awesome ones that are out there. So if you are one or you know one, no offense, please do not take that to offense. It's just the majority what I see, it's scary. It really is scary, to be honest. You might be saying, Nicole, what do you recommend as far as a protein intake? So what I do is if you're 150 pounds, I will multiply 150 times 0.8 or 1, which is 1 pound per pound of body weight that you are. I don't go that route often. It depends on the individual and the goals, let's just say that. But if you are brand new to eating high protein, brand new to all the things, I'm not gonna set you at the higher level. I'm gonna set you at the minimum level, which for me is about 0.8 times your body weight. So for a 150 pound individual, that's gonna be 120 grams of protein, not 54 grams of protein. And why, you might ask? Let's get technical about it. So if I'm making your macros and you're 150 pounds, I put my statistics, okay? 150 pounds, you're 5'6", and you're my age. We're looking at the numbers here, and I'm trying to set you at 2,200 calories, which we're gonna talk about why in a second. That's gonna have you at 54 grams of protein, about almost 90 grams of fat, and 300 carbs per day. So your protein would be the lowest macronutrient of all of them. So the article goes on to talk about how you should not neglect the other macronutrients, but you're really neglecting the protein if you set the protein this low, because all the other macronutrients are gonna be hella high. And we all know that when you are consuming really high carb and really high fat together, that is a recipe for fat gain, depending on what you're eating. I'm not talking about all fats and carbs mixed together. You guys, most of y'all understand what I mean by that. But if you are really eating chronically low protein, which to me, 54 grams of protein for a individual like myself would be chronically low, and I'm eating really high of the other things, that's gonna be a recipe for disaster for most people, for the goals they really have set for themselves. So now let's take a little detour where we talk about, let's define too little protein. This is coming from an article from Gabrielle Lyon. I absolutely love her. If you follow her and like do all the things on social media, and I know where this is a whole social media like post reaction thing, but she knows her shit, okay? She knows her shit and talks about how most Americans aren't overly fat, they are under muscled. If we focus on not just trying to be our smallest selves and focus on being our most strongest selves, we're going to go far as an aging individual, and I absolutely love that. So she writes, first, let's define too little protein. The media tells us we're getting plenty of protein, just like I said in the article that was posted. But the question becomes plenty in relationship to what? The current recommended daily allowance by the RDA, which stands for the Recommended Dietary Allowance, is set to what I told you guys earlier. She's also using the 150-pound equation there, 54 grams of protein per day. The RDA is put in place as a minimum to prevent a deficiency. So when we hear in this narrative that we're getting too much protein, we are getting plenty to prevent a deficiency. Y'all understand the difference here. But when we're thinking about how we want to age, how women need to support body composition changes through menopause and beyond, the RDA is not adequate. A more optimal range would be based on scientific evidence is having between 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight every day. So for most adults, that's about 100 grams of protein daily, give or take. Okay, so I would be setting people according to this, maybe a little bit higher than that at 120 at the minimum. But it's not going to hurt anything. It's only going to help. So also let's go back to the article and see what they say about protein and the side effects of protein. The side effects of getting too much protein can cause kidney strain. Now, I have a lot of people that get concerned with this when they come to me for programs, for custom macros, and they're new to eating high protein and they've heard things like this on the internet. They get a little concerned. If you have a history of kidney disease, if you have any type of health ailments that involve your kidneys, then a high protein diet is not going to be in your favor, okay? But I have plenty of people that have never had an issue in their life and they're deathly scared of protein because they think #kidneys right away. This article says that it can be harmful for people with pre-existing kidney conditions, diabetes, or chronic dehydration. Okay, but if you don't have any of those things, you don't have to worry about that. I understand why they put it in here, but it scares people that don't have an issue is the problem. The article talks about how high protein diets are very popular right now, especially on social media apparently, talking about how people are looking at it as a more important macronutrient to look at when looking at nutrition labels versus the other macronutrients. How to incorporate protein in a healthy way. It says, whatever the latest trend may be, a truly healthy diet is all about balance. This is a registered dietitian, and I totally agree with that. Y'all hear me talk about all the time that balance is key. Eating all foods, there are no good and bad foods, and having a balanced approach to food. And food is a source of fuel for your body. The idea behind all protein diets is to promote satiety or the feeling of being full. Yes, protein is the most filling macronutrient that you can eat. It's going to keep you fuller longer than just eating fat or just eating carbs. That is on period. While the feeling can be helpful for weight loss, increasing protein may deprioritize other essential nutrients like fiber and complex carbohydrates. That's why we promote high protein all parts of the journey. But yes, weight loss is going to keep you fuller than longer than just eating carbs and then burning off and you being starving all day, plus already being in a super calorie deficit. Most of y'all, you're going to feel starving like you want to chew your left arm off all day if you're not eating protein and just eating carbs and you're not eating hardly anything at all. I promote fiber all the time. As far as the carbs that people eat in my programs or anybody that comes to me, I try to promote that a lot in my YouTube videos, in my Instagram stories. Fiber, fiber, fiber. Y'all see me eat for my carb sources. I eat a shit ton of fruit. Why do I do that? Because it is a more cleaner carbohydrate, number one, and a ton of fiber is in fruit. And that is the main source besides whole grains like oats and stuff that I eat all the time that I'm getting my fiber intake in. I'm not getting my fiber intake from keto wraps, low carb wraps, all this stuff where the fiber is not even necessarily like real fiber. Y'all understand what I mean by that. It's added fiber and it hurts or kills my gut anyway. So I would much rather eat it from a more natural source because I'm getting a more natural fuel in my body and fiber. Article also goes on, and this is another thing that I get a lot of people come to me with that says, it especially has been shown that the body's ability to metabolize and absorb protein is limited. Look, if you're eating 60 grams of protein for your breakfast, It's not like it's a perfect example of it. I watched Liam on Instagram and he talked about this because he had a lot of people wanting him to touch on the subject. And he was like, it's not like you're going to eat 60 grams of fiber and you're going to shit out the 30 grams of fiber like immediately. Your body's going to absorb what it needs, but you're not going to have it just like pour out your body because it can't get absorbed necessarily. It's going to distribute and do what it needs to do, no matter if you eat 30 grams in a meal or 60 grams in a meal. A lot of people ask me like, can I eat more than 30 grams in a particular meal? I heard that you can only absorb 25 grams of protein at a time. Y'all eat whatever you want to eat as far as your protein. You're going to absorb what your body needs, whether it is over 25 grams of protein or not. The article goes on to say, so it's not that an athlete can have a really high protein intake and it's converted into muscle. What has been shown to help build up muscle is weight training along with protein intake. No shit, Sherlock. However, I get what this article is saying. It's for a sedentary person, and as far as someone thinking that they don't have to move their body or they don't have to resistance train, they can just eat a high protein diet and all of a sudden they're going to get what my ladies like to say tone, or for a guy look like Arnold the next day and not have to put any effort behind it just because you're eating high protein. I get that's where the article's going, but most people don't think that Miss Pelosi or whoever this is. We all know that if we eat high protein mixed with all the other macronutrients, a well-balanced diet, and we resistance or strength train with the intent to progressively overload over time, that's going to build a stimulus to build muscle. If we eat on recovery days, if we're truly recovering with sleep and rest, that's going to build muscle too, all right? Not just eating protein and you're gonna wake up the next day looking swole. I wish it was that easy. It goes on to talk about this TikTok particular influencer they just randomly picked. Y'all, there's millions of people on the internet that are promoting high protein right now on all platforms, so they just randomly picked Miss Ainsley. I was gonna say Ashley. I don't follow her, but I did go and look at her TikTok and she's got some really valuable stuff on there in my opinion, so I don't know why they just picked her. Maybe because she's got 2.2 million followers on TikTok. You go, girl. But protein in a nutshell, guys. What is protein going to do for you? It is going to help preserve your skeletal muscle. As an aging female, we lose at the age of 30. It's actually like your high 20s. You start losing a percentage of skeletal muscle every single year. As you continue to age, you will lose your skeletal muscle. So if we are trying to fight the signs of hashtag aging as far as losing our muscle mass by eating high protein, by building muscle and preserving that muscle and keeping that muscle on our frame, we're not just going to continually lose it and get weaker and frail as we become an aging female. And that is the ultimate goal, guys, is to be our strongest self, to be able to run around with our grandkids and be physically fit and able to, without getting winded, without feeling like we're going to break a leg running around, to be able to go on a family vacation at 80 years old with your family and watch your grandkids and your kids have the best time and you be physically able to keep up with them and them not have to worry about you, You be in charge of yourself as an aging individual, whether you're female or not. That is going to be the ultimate power, is for you to be able to feel strong and to be able to feel your best as you keep getting older. And by you losing weight, being a healthy body weight, having muscle on your frame is going to be the ticket to guarantee that down the road. Unfortunately, a quarter of Americans are sedentary, have no physical activity in their day-to-day. A quarter of us are doing nothing. I didn't put the statistics for obesity because I think that's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Because when I look at my BMI and we're not taking into account muscle mass and any of that, I'm considered obese. So the percentage for Americans, whether you're athletically fit or not, is going to be super high for obesity. It's not a true percentage, in my opinion, for people that really are not physically fit and labeled as obese, because even physically fit people are labeled as obese. I mean, we're talking about Olympics and Olympians that have been coming out and telling their BMI and their body weight and body image and all that kind of stuff, and how they're labeled obese and they're winning gold medals. Like, you can be fit and athletic, and the BMI chart means absolutely nothing because it does not take into account your lean muscle mass on your frame for an individual. So if you know that you are killing it in the gym, if you're killing it as an athlete, you're physically fit and healthy, your physicals and your blood work are coming back a-okay every single year, but you still have that little obese at the bottom because of your BMI, just let it go, let it go. Don't even worry about that. I do like that the RDA, I looked it up, the recommended dietary allowance. I do not like their protein recommendation, but they are recommending people in my age bracket to be eating anywhere between 1,800 and 2,200 calories. Now, am I eating 2,200 calories to maintain my 156-pound frame right now? No, I'm eating 2,500 calories, and I probably need to raise them. I'm still not at my maintenance calories yet to maintain that weight with the activity that I'm doing. So I don't think this is necessarily accurate. Nothing's gonna be accurate, guys, unless you truly find the data for your individual self and see where you need to be as far as your maintenance goes. The reverse program, I know I'm tooting my own horn and shouting that out, but we don't even have one coming up right now, not until November, but it's an awesome way to be able to find your true maintenance, figure out how to do it on your own after the program. So I can't recommend that enough, but I do like this starting range. I feel like that's a good starting range for most people that have no idea. And I like how it's not super low, because going back to dietitian stories that I didn't go down the rabbit hole with before I leave you guys, I've had a lot of people come to me that have hired and paid good money, a dietitian to put them on 800 to 1,000 calories, and they're strength training like me in the gym and eating nothing. Strength training and doing hella crazy cardio and eating between 800 and 1,000 calories. And then these ladies are coming to me asking me why they don't have any muscle on their frame, why they feel so tired and lethargic all the time, like they're gonna pass out. When they're in the gym training, they're seeing stars because they are so gassed because they have zero fuel in their tank. And it is just so sad and disheartening to me that these nutritionists would be recommending these women to eat this low. And I'm not talking about a woman that's 120 pounds either, which even still, I don't recommend that at all. I don't set anybody under 1,500 calories in any of my programs, period. No matter where you are in your journey, we're not going under 1,500 calories. It's just not healthy to me. And I'm not here for it, and I'm not standing for it or proving or going in down that way. And I've had a lot of people, I've had to refund their money because they don't want to eat more than 1,500 calories and they don't trust it, and I just give them their refund and send them on their merry way, because I am only here for y'all's best interest, and eating under 1,500 calories no matter where you are is not the way, I promise. So even though this person is 120 pounds, let's say, 800 to 1,000 calories is way too low no matter where you are. It is just so scary to me that these people are recommending this to ladies left and right and setting up this mental effery that I see on a daily with women and their body image, food. It's just really scary. So if you are out there and you have been recommended by a doctor or by a nutritionist to be eating under 1,000 calories, I would get a second opinion. I would get a second opinion immediately, unless you're in like an extreme situation, like you've had gastric bypass. I mean, there's lots of things that could make it a more individualized issue, but I'm just talking general here, okay? So I'm gonna leave you guys with eat your protein. Eat your protein. I'm also gonna leave you with, don't let social media get to you. I know you're watching this video on a social media platform. I am on social media, I understand that, and I get that, but do your research. Don't just go off of my saying, just don't go off of one article. Do your research yourself. Figure out what's gonna work best for you. I say this to everybody, we are individualized. It's not a one size fits all. Everybody needs their own little adjustments when it comes to their journey. So do your research and do what's best for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like I was kind of rambling and going all over the place, but that's kind of the way when it comes to a reaction video, especially when I have not looked at this, but like half the time I just glanced at it and wanted to really give you guys my reaction and thoughts. And I might have been a little bit passionate about things, but y'all know this is my job, and I am very passionate about other people's journeys, their health, and it means a lot to me to see you guys win, to see you guys be healthy, to eat as much as possible and still kill it and really fuel your body for life. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. That helps me out so much. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.